Hey everyone. So, trigger warning, we're going to be talking about what happened in Michigan. So if that stuff wigs you out or triggers you, just step out of the room. We're going to do this as quick as we can. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, as a note, I do want to say that if you haven't watched the video on what happened, there is a video for it. It is down in the playlists. Find it, because that one got demonetized. And so not a lot of people saw it. So I'll try to put it somewhere around here-ish. But if you want more context, we go over it in depth there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, cool. Anyway. Here goes nothing. Oxford high school officials accused of gross negligent homicide. True. Oxford, Michigan. A law professor of George Washington University filed a criminal complaint Tuesday against Oxford school officials. Good. John Banzaf III told Patch on Tuesday he sent a 3-paragraph complaint to the Michigan Attorney General's office. The complaint accuses several Oxford high school officials of gross negligent homicide. Based. I write it to most respectfully fill a formal complaint of apparent criminal wrongdoing, violation of criminal law against Oxford High and several of its counselors, teachers, and others whose names are unknown to me, for gross negligent homicide and other possible crimes. Banzaf argued in the complaint that recent developments surrounding the actions of the school officials led to the death of 4 students and the wounding of 7 others. He said he filed the complaint after learning of Nessel's willingness and eagerness to investigate the high school's actions in the lead up to the deadly shooting. An investigation by her office said would assure the public the review would be done fairly. A similar complaint filed by Banzaf in Georgia regarding the failed attempt of former President Trump's request to find 11,800 votes call led to a criminal investigation. Oh, so this guy gets stuff done. Based. So, the Oxford School District previously rejected Nessel's offer to conduct an independent investigation to determine the facts that led up to the shooting. So we covered these. The short version of this is, when we went over this previously, every school official there, save for one, screwed up. One person turned in when they saw this kid's horrifying drawings and sent him to the office, which was the proper protocol to do. This kid saw counselors, this kid saw admin, and they sent him back to class because his parents were being whiny and didn't want to actually pick him up from school. That kid should have been taken off premises the minute there was any concern of violence and had to be seen by a counselor before he came back. Every single person there, as to my knowledge, as far as people have told me in Michigan, are mandated reporters, which means legally they were required to report to CPS. They did not. This is absolutely true to my understanding of that, as far as mandated reporters work in the United States. Nessel said she was extremely disappointed that the school district declined her offer. Of course they did. On Tuesday, Nessel said she would continue to travel to Oxford to meet parents, school officials, and others to review policies and procedures related to guns and school safety. I want to hear everything they have to say, Nessel said in a Zoom call with reporters. I want to hear their concerns. Nessel made her comments after disclosing late Monday that Oxford school officials had declined her Sunday offer. All right, so that happened. Despite the rejection, Nessel said Tuesday her office will review the events school officials took prior to the deadly shooting. What we can't do is nothing. It's not appropriate, Dana Nessel told reporters, according to the Associated Press, calling the week-old attack a tragedy on every level. I really do think it's incumbent upon the Michigan Department of Attorney General and the top law enforcement official in the state to conduct a further review. So that's the first part. This is absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
Because this is, as we talked about in our previous stream, and again, that video will be somewhere in the video, so just find it and watch it. Because man, did they demonetize the heck out of it. These people absolutely were criminally negligent. I don't know if they were afraid of the parents and had some kind of blowback. I don't know if they were just scared of the kid. I don't know if they just were apathetic. I don't care. These people, there was an order of operations of failure here. This kid was clearly, demonstrably mentally ill. And the fact that this kid did not have his parents intervening because of their Trumpian ideology and their pro-gun to the point of irresponsibility and leaving a handgun and ammunition
in an easily accessible place by a teenager.
And the fact that they wouldn't pick up their own kid when he was found to be drawing really horrific stuff is awful. But then you add in the fact that no one at school did anything either. They could have kept that kid down in the counseling office and taken his bag. They didn't.
Oh.
So, how did the state respond?
Oh gosh, so this is the fun part. Fun, like the horrifying
Michigan
what the fuck is wrong with people way.
Yeah, right. Michigan Democrats renew push for gun control bills after Oxford shooting. In Lansing, Michigan, Democrats vowed Wednesday to push new gun control legislation to try to revive stalled bills in the Michigan Republican-led legislature following a mass shooting that left 4 high school students dead and others, 7 of them, with injuries. But GOP lawyers who have long opposed such measures and have favored looser restrictions did not immediately commit to policy changes. So, let's see what they're actually asking for, because that's where I think this gets silly.
Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah,
fine.
She said beyond just thoughts and prayers. Yes, because that's what only things Republicans can ever offer when someone gets when people get shot. Thoughts and prayers. The bill would require adults to keep a firearm in a secured locked container if they know it is accessible to minors. Based.
Fair, yeah.
If a minor obtained the gun and used it to kill or injure, the adult would face up to 5 years in prison. Like that. There would be exceptions if the minor had permission for activities like target practice and hunting. Republicans have not held a hearing on the measure or other gun control legislation. If we get it, blah, 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 this is just random lying. So,
where's the other half of this? Because there are other,
what was the part you're remembering? Because I'm not seeing it.
They wanted to reduce the legal, limit of ammunition in a magazine by, 5.
We'll have to find another article on that because I don't see it here. That's because the 2 measures here, if they do really want to just limit the magazines from 15 to 10, that is ludicrous. This kid still could have injured as many people. But on top of that, if it is these measures are actually pretty good. I think guns should be locked up from minors, and I do think that parents should be held accountable if a minor gets a hold of their gun. Right? So yeah. If they're going to do the ammo thing, that's cringe. But if it's this stuff, it's okay. We'll leave it there until we get more info.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find the other article or somebody's got something.
Michigan State Senator introduced bill to mandate threat reporting in schools, but it's already mandated. State Senator Ruth Johnson, Republican of Holly, I assume Holly's in Michigan, introduced legislation on Thursday that would require mandatory reporting on threats in school to law enforcement. Oh, okay.
So here's the thing. Are law enforcement mental health professionals?
No.
Absolutely fucking not. So, how does this actually help, then, if you never get a mental health professional involved?
So, I'm of 2 minds about this. On the one hand, based on what Ethan, the kid in question, drew, I think this would have been appropriate. Because this would have overlapped everyone else and you would have actually had something. Now, I still think CPS should have been contacted. But the problem is it leaves up to question that a reasonable person would believe or constitutes an actual implied threat. But that's what CPS should have done, and nobody did that. The issue here wasn't having mandates. We have mandated reporters. This kid was clearly mentally ill. It wasn't that they were not able to report. It was they didn't do it. So that's where this fails, right? Schools would also be required. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, we get into some really weird issues with overplacing schools. A lot of schools already have officers stationed in them.
Or at very least, security guards.
Not even that. A lot of schools switched over to just actual officers. It's actually a big problem because offenses that would normally be like, hey, this is, a disciplinary issue, somebody probably needs to intervene and, have some fucking compassion here, will in fact turn this into a legal issue or a law enforcement issue. Where now the consequences are something, involving the legal system and not just, hey, maybe we should actually treat this kid like a kid and have some understanding about there's things in their situation.
There's a level of escalation issue there, right?
Yeah. So no, and a lot of times a lot of schools fucking stopped paying their security guards. My school absolutely took out the security guards, as time went on after I graduated. They weren't a thing anymore. And they were generally, people that actually knew students, actually, could act appropriately and be around and not escalate things immediately to law enforcement. So, I really have a problem with this because it doesn't. The problem with this law is that it would absolutely encompass tons of situations in here and leave officers in a place sorting through mental health issues, frankly, or trying to sort through what's a threat and what isn't. And we know that already they're like kind of a trigger happy bunch. Their training is shit. So,
I can't pronounce that name, but H77 I'll use. I used to be law enforcement. It needs serious reform. There is a reason why there are so many innocent people in jail. Sexual assault and domestic abuse just go let go. Policing in America is only about making money. Oh, and protecting property. I mean, that's the Marxist argument, right? They're just there to protect. They're basically just...
Well, just protecting property would absolutely fall into the making money or keeping your money.
Yeah, right. Essentially protecting, wealth.
Anyway, if any of you guys are aware, I was going to say the school to prison pipeline is the other thing to look up with these issues.
I keep trying to bring this part up real quick.
Sorry,
it's the last part of this article. Schools would also be required to train all school personnel about their responsibilities regarding reporting. That's not a terrible idea. Johnson also said she is working on securing additional funding for schools to make security upgrades like metal detectors, video cameras, and security locks. Cameras, I'm fine with. Security locks, yes, theoretically. Metal detectors, that gets really close to the overly policing of schools in my view. What are your thoughts?
I'm not super comfy. Also, I've heard a lot of schools have issues with actually maintaining and actually having equipment that works anyways. So, no, I am very much on the, hey, let's actually have security guards. Let's actually have more mental health professionals available to students.
Yeah, why can't you have social workers be the guards? Patrolling, walking down the halls, and they basically just, take care of things, break up fights, do that,
Well, yeah, actually have people trained to de-escalate situations and not just, arrest people.
Take little Timmy behind, aside and try to talk to him and about how he's feeling and try to get him not to do what this kid did.
Not just that, but kids are legally required to show up to school until a certain age, and you never know what's in this kid's history or what's in their background. Okay, you don't know that. You don't get that control to just know everything, right? If this kid is having to take care of all of their siblings and that's why they're late to class. What if we actually had social systems in place to actually assist with that situation, right? So that way all three of those, or, multiples, right? The older kid and the siblings could all get to school on time and all be taken care of, right? Instead of having the older one taking care of them, right? You don't know about these situations, and actually having the systems in place to support kids would actually make a fucking difference. But nope, let's just add more cops. Sure.
The problem is that, I'm going to go by things not because I like or dislike any particular political party. I think there are things in here I agree with. There are things in here I don't like. Again, my failure here is the mandating. Before we even get to the discussion of overly policing of schools, the fact is you're still asking people to mandate to do this, and the problem is you don't look at the social factors that prevent them from actually reporting. I don't know if admin didn't want to do it because they were afraid of the blowback. I don't know if they were afraid of the parents doing something.
Or if, you said, there was a hierarchy and somebody up in the top went, no, you don't need to do this because I will.
Or don't do it because we don't want to bring some consequence. Yeah. There's a number of ways this go wrong, as I've told you with the story about my previous internship. Anyway, that's the updates on this. If you haven't watched the other video, please go watch it. The algorithm was not friendly to that one. And we will see you in the next one.
Yep.
If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, consider donating to us. You can support us on our website, transgirltherapist.org. You can also help us on our Patreon, link below, or you can become a member here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching.